Hello everybody and welcome back. As always, I am Mateo311 and this is your channel for everything VR related. Today, we have a massive update of VR games that still remain out there in limbo. This is everything from delays, new release dates, titles that were announced but we haven't heard anything since, canceled projects, and even some unannounced titles that I would put money on will be releasing. Now, there are of course links and timestamps to all of these games if you want to skip ahead, but before we jump in, this video is brought to you by Kiwi Design. Let's face it guys, your Quest 2 needs an elite strap. Why not get one with a battery pack? Kiwi has this amazing one. It's my absolute favorite. It's got this super plush top strap and back strap, making it extra comfy. It's way more durable than what you get from Meta and cheaper. Plus, it's got a massive 6400 milliamp hour battery, which can give you 4+ hours of additional gaming. I highly recommend it, guys. Go check out additional accessories from Kiwi Design. And don't forget to use discount code Mateo311 for 5% off and to help support my channel. Okay, so let's start off by going down the list of studios that have been acquired by Meta and what they're currently working on. Now, for some of these studios like Beat Games, Within, and Big Box VR, it's just business as usual. These titles are basically cash cows for Meta. So Beat Games will continue to put out new updates for Beat Saber. Big Box will expand Population 1. They're currently working on a sandbox mode. And Within will keep trying to pull in more and more subscriptions for Supernatural. Where things get more exciting is the other studios they own, starting with Sanzaro Games, who delivered us the absolutely amazing Asgard's Wrath. Now, it's been 2.5 years since this studio has been acquired, and we haven't seen anything yet. Now, you'll be hard-pressed to find any official information on this, but I constantly hear internal rumblings from people at Meta that Sanzaro Games is working on not only a port for Asgard's Wrath to the Quest 2, but also a complete sequel. There remains the possibility that this might be a Quest 3 title and not Quest 2, but a 3-year time span is the average length for a high-end title, and I would put money on the fact that that's what Sanzaro has been working on. Asgard's Wrath is one of those PCVR games that could stand toe-to-toe graphically with Half-Life Alyx, and has an extremely lengthy campaign that's comparable to a flat screen title instead of those tiny little casual games we get in VR. So let's hope we get an official announcement for this title in the near future. Now, if you're looking for the Lone Echo series to come to the Quest, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but Studio Ready at Dawn said they're moving on. When Meta first acquired these developers, the assumption was Lone Echo would be ported to the Quest 2, and at the same time, development of the nearly completed Lone Echo 2 went dark for almost a complete year. So the port seemed more and more likely, but I guess they couldn't pull it off, and Lone Echo 1 and 2 remain a PCVR only title. Now, besides continuing to push out updates to the highly addictive Echo Arena, Ready at Dawn have stated that they are working on a completely new IP. Whatever this new title ends up being, I just hope they're able to continue with that extremely high fidelity and compelling storytelling that we got from Lone Echo 1 and 2. Now, when it comes to Downpour Interactive, Mark Zuckerberg himself accidentally spilled the beans, stating that he's really looking forward to Onward 2. If you're not familiar with this title, it's a competitive shooter that moves into the military sim category. Now, Onward was originally a PCVR title that was ported to the Quest, and that process brought downgrades to both the PCVR and Quest versions. With Meta now owning the studio, it's much more likely this will be an exclusive title and built from the ground up specifically for the Quest. Now, that's great for Quest 2 Onward fans, as we can assume the sequel will be much better, but not so good for everybody else. Now, moving on to Armature, the studio that brought us the absolutely amazing Resident Evil 4 Quest 2 port. There's nothing officially confirmed, but it's possible this studio might be working on bringing Fortnite to the Quest 2. They're already development partners with Epic Games and have worked on both the UI and feature updates for Fortnite. And when we combine this with some of the leaks, that the most recent Fortnite update included some Quest 2 references, it makes this seem much more likely. What do you guys think about Fortnite coming to the Quest 2? Are you all for it or not interested at all? Let me know down in the comments. Now, when it comes to both Twisted Pixel Games and the newly acquired studio Camouflage, I can only speculate what they're working on. Twisted Pixel gave us the amazing titles Wilson's Heart, Defector, and Path of the Warrior. The first two titles were way ahead of their time, and Path of the Warrior was just some pure Quest fun. Honestly, they can make a sequel to any of these games and I think they'd be successful, so I'm just looking forward to anything they push out. And Camouflage is in a similar situation. They just recently did an amazing job porting Iron Man VR to the Quest 2, and I really hope they deliver us a sequel. Now, that covers all of the Meta-acquired studios, but there are plenty of other announced games out there sitting in limbo. The first one is Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Now, this was announced over a year ago, and there's been no word since. I'm not actually surprised here, because when this was announced, Rockstar Games was still working on their GTA remake, and I just got the impression from the announcement that the Quest port had just recently started. So I'm not expecting to hear any updates on this game at all until sometime next year, and I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up being a Quest 3 title. Now, moving on to other developers, we have Assassin's Creed from Ubisoft. It's been over 2 years since they announced that they were working on both an Assassin's Creed and Splinter Cell VR title. But since then, Ubisoft has been in turmoil, and there was even talks that the studio was going to be acquired by someone else. We did eventually get an official cancellation of Splinter Cell VR, and also some major leaks regarding Assassin's Creed VR. Supposedly, the title was named Nexus, and a beta tester gave us all the details on this game. In honesty, it sounded pretty rough and not exciting at all. So with the studio currently struggling, I wouldn't be surprised if this title was put on the back burner and just never officially releases. They're most likely assuming it's better for the company spending their resources elsewhere. But let's move on to games that we definitely know are releasing very soon. The first one is the fantasy-themed, absolutely brutal roguelite, Hellsweeper VR. Now, we were supposed to be jumping into this title this month, but it has been delayed until the second quarter of 2023. If you don't know what Hellsweeper is all about, it's from the same developers that gave us Sorrento, and it's a high-mobility, mature-themed, monster-slaying good time. It focuses on using VR mechanics to their fullest, and from the demo I tried, I can say they're definitely pulling it off. It's becoming something like Doom Eternal in VR. Similar to our next title, Everslaught. A beta version is currently available on PCVR, and it's an absolutely stunning and brutal title that's a blend of Diablo and Doom. Well, in early 2023, Quest gamers will get to experience this, and the title's also getting a co-op mode. Honestly, I can't stress how good the current beta version is. It absolutely fuels your adrenaline, it's extremely fast-paced, the graphics are amazing, and the gameplay is highly addictive. This is a title I will 100% be covering for you guys, and I can't wait to experience this in co-op mode. Speaking of can't wait, there's 2 more titles on this list that I am dying to get the full version of. The first one is Lo-Fi, where you're policing a retro-futuristic cyberpunk slum, and this is a title that's been in development for years, which has always had a lot of hype surrounding it. Unfortunately though, the solo developer seems to be a little disgruntled about the state of VR, and at one point he was looking into a Quest 2 version, but now he's focused on making this both a VR and flat screen release. So he's most likely optimizing this title right now for a PlayStation 5 release, and just making sure it turns out exactly how he wants it. If you are interested in checking out this title, there is early access available from itch.io, and I've saved my most anticipated title for last, and that's Vertigo 2. Vertigo is basically Half-Life meets Rick and Morty. The original title was ahead of its time, and an absolutely fantastic PCVR single-player shooter campaign. There's plenty of twists and turns, exciting moments, excellent gameplay, and it's clearly a labor of love, delivering a lot more than we typically get from a VR title. Vertigo 2 plans to take things much further. There's currently a demo available on Steam, and if you haven't tried it, go do it right now, and you'll see why I keep going on and on about this game. Now, a few months ago, there was a closed beta for this title, and the developer has stated the game is fully playable from beginning to end right now. They just have to crush out some bugs. Now, in the closed beta Discord, we are still getting updates, but no official release window just yet. Okay, so if you guys thought I was making a games update video without talking about Valve, you are mistaken. Amazingly, it's been 2.5 years since Half-Life Alyx released, and back then Valve was stating they had 2 other major VR products already in development. Things have been quiet for quite some time, and Valve has a handful of additional projects like the Steam Deck that they're currently working on, but it looks like we just recently got some new information and additional confirmation that a game is on the way. Valve recently filed a trademark for a software application called Neon Prime. Historically, they do this right before a game is announced. Now, minimal information is known about this title, but supposedly it's in the sci-fi genre and an entirely new IP, so it wouldn't take place in any existing game universe. It will also supposedly have multiplayer and cross-platform components. Now, is it possible this is the same title that was previously being known as Citadel, which featured some people playing on flat screen and others joining from a VR perspective, taking on a top-down view of the battleground and issuing commands to bots? It's completely unclear if this is an entirely new game or what they officially decided to rename Citadel. Based on that original codename, it was assumed this was a title that did take place in the Half-Life Alyx universe, so it doesn't sound like it's the same game as Neon Prime, or things have just changed over at Valve. They've been known to work on projects for years and then just drop them or completely shift gears. But as of right now, it looks like they're working on this new game, Neon Prime, a standalone version of Half-Life Alyx that'll work on their upcoming new VR headset, the Deckard. They're continually pushing out updates for Steam Deck and still supporting a lot of their previous titles. So I would be surprised if they had more than one brand new title in development, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens, and hopefully we get some announcements in the near future. Please go ahead and let me know down in the comments right now which game you are most excited for, and if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please consider subscribing, and as always, I will see you guys on next time.